Is there a hidden Earth-like planet prepared for our arrival? In the classic Twilight Zone episode, Third from the Sun, a desperate family flees a doomed world, only to reveal their destination, Earth, the third planet from the Sun. The twist? They weren't human. In this eerie tarot reading, we explore the haunting possibility that our planet might not be the only one, and maybe not even our first. Is there another Earth waiting in the shadows? And if so, who already knows about it? Let's see what secrets the cards reveal. Hello everyone, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time on my channel. We're going to hop right in with question 1 on this Twilight Zone inspired episode 14. First question, does an Earth-like planet exist? One that could sustain human life. So let's see where the cards take us. We're starting with Oracle, and then we will go on to Tarot for more information. Does an Earth-like planet exist? One that could sustain human life. Outbreak is the first card. So I'm going to grab this. One of the things that it does say on this card is try to remain calm. I feel like this card is saying that there are so many Earth-like planets out there. The Illusionist. And with so many planets out there, so many Earth-like planets that could sustain human life, not just in our galaxy, but many galaxies, I feel as though we're being told that there aren't any, that this is the only place we can survive with the Illusionist. There are obviously planets that look like they could sustain us, and then maybe the air is different or something like that that we can't survive. And we have Gorillas in the Mist. Some of them have perhaps creatures that not everybody could live with. The Last Samurai. Some have a very combatant culture, perhaps people living on them, or they're constantly at war. So there's obviously planets, there's many planets that to choose from, okay? But not all of them are like Earth, or many of them are like Earth in that there's illnesses, there's war, well, with the Illusionist, I'm looking at that as pretty much we're either told there aren't any, or the planet looks great, but there's something about it we really don't know. And then, of course, it could have creatures on it that some can live with, some cannot. In the Navy, 1408, and Pushing Tin. So in the Navy, I feel as though this is saying there could be problems with the water with some. Maybe all of the planet has nothing but salt water, but no fresh water to work with, which obviously we know we cannot survive without fresh water. Some could have, I guess you could say some could be more nightmarish in some way. Maybe a certain planet harbors a lot of spirits. Maybe it's just very strange occurrences that we wouldn't be able to live with. No matter what, there's going to be a planet for us out there somewhere. We just have to take the time to compare these planets and see which competes best against the other. Looking at all these aspects. So there's probably more than one. And let's see what tarot has to add. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, this is definitely showing there's planets that work together, almost like on a network. So I'm thinking that if we figured out that pattern, figured out that network, we could probably find the Earth planets easier. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this is a patience card. We planted the seed that we might want to find another planet that sustains human life. We just need to be patient because not every planet is equal. We'll put it that way. Judgment. It's an assessment. Every planet is going to need to be assessed. And one of the things to look for are the wildlife, whether we can live with the wildlife or we can't. Ace of Pentacles. There are so many things about other planets that we could run into. War is one of them. Or perhaps it's a planet that has lost all its inhabitants due to whatever. I mean, maybe they depleted all their soil and the whole population died off. I mean, there are so many things that could affect life on a planet. It's kind of unlimited. Empress. So I think we have to really pay attention to what we want Earth to be like. And of course, we're not all going to be different or the same. So with Empress, we create it in our mind and hope, we don't forget the water. Obviously, we can't just live with salt water. Seven of Wands. These would be things that we would have to defend ourselves against, things in the shadows that we didn't expect to be there. We'd have to be ready to defend ourselves. Nine of Swords. It's telling us not to worry, not to lose sleep over it. Nothing is going to happen immediately. We just need to actively consider what we would like and look at all these aspects, plus more, to determine what it is that we actually want in a sustainable human life planet. All right, so let us pick up our cards here and move on to question 2. And if you're new to my channel, you'll see that my process of picking up cards is a little different. Rather than gathering them all up, I grab them individually and tuck them in a different spot in the deck, because that allows me to know that there's a little shuffling going on, and if we get repeat cards, it isn't just because I've done a bad job shuffling. This is just kind of a head start. And I do the same with the Oracle deck. Just kind of tuck the cards in randomly. And it's usually a different pile that they go in than they came out of, so they're always mixed. All right, so let us move on to question 2. Who or what already knows about this planet? So I think what it's asking in answer to number 1, there are planets that exist, a lot of them, but they may not all be comparable to Earth. They may sustain human life, but they may have things wrong with them that we're not accustomed to. So who or what already knows about a planet that would basically be perfect? Similar to what we're accustomed to now. Ain't no mountain high enough. So there is one. There is one out there, at least, and probably more than one. And there's nothing to keep us from getting there. Red Dawn. I think the one that has been chosen or that somebody knows about is already occupied, and it feels like they want to, they meaning the ones who always like to destroy things on Earth, allegedly, that they would like to go in and invade. Let's see what further it has to say. Material world. So I feel like with this, they are saying that there is one, but there's going to be challenges, obstacles, apparently, with even the one that they're considering. They're talking or considering going in and invading. It's going to take a lot of money to do that. Pushover. Yeah, these people, it's almost too tempting for them not to go in, no matter how much it costs, because they don't have any problem with, well, red rum. I don't want to say it out loud here, but spell that the other way. The Sixth Sense. Battery is not included. And take the money and run. I think wherever this planet is, or the one that they found, the people there have a sixth sense. They know something, that something's up. They know something's up. And they are alien in nature. They are not human as we are. I believe that they've offered them money and told them, you know, take the money and just leave the planet. But they're alien. Is our money, you know, does Earth money mean anything to them? Probably not. Probably not. So this just makes, you know, the people on our planet who are pushing for this, just makes them even greedier, going, oh good, they won't take the money so we can keep it for ourselves. So let's see what further we have with tarot. I think they're more evolved beings also with the Sixth Sense. I think they're more evolved. They are alien to us. And I don't think they work with money. So we have the Eight of Cups. This would probably be a planet that if we were deciding, we would walk away from. Ten of Wands. Because who wants to start a new civilization with an invasion? That's not the energy that we would want to start with. Page of Wands. Yeah, we would like to start with something new. Not exactly, I mean, money. It's been a problem for a long time on Earth. Why would we want to start with that again? Why would we want to keep going exactly as we have? If we have to leave this planet Earth, why would we want to go and start up another one exactly like this one? We want something new. We want the energy to be new. Eight of Wands. Yeah, these people don't care what they do to the ones that live on this planet already. Not Earth, but the other planet they're looking at. that is supposed to be able to sustain human life. They don't care. They will take them captive if that's what they have to do. Two of Pentacles. And as I said, these people on that planet, they have a sixth sense. They know that something's coming, and they know that there's something they have to be prepared for it, right? That's their decision. What can they do? Do they fight or do they leave? Queen of Swords. They are ready to do battle. They don't want to. They're very caring individuals, but the truth of the matter is they'll do battle if they have to. They will, for their planet. And offering them money was like the most ridiculous thing that you could possibly do. They don't work with money. They maybe did once upon a time. It ended up being a tower moment. It just collapsed their world. They learned from it. So let us pick up these cards again and see where question 3 goes. For those who are new to my channel, every once in a while in my videos you will hear, well, maybe sometimes more than once in a while, you will hear some strange noises in the background. That will be my Chihuahua laying in his bed snoring. Now he is laying there right now, but he's quite quiet. I don't expect it to stay that way the entire recording. So just be prepared for that. You might also, hear neighbors running their lawnmowers since it's summer here and things like that, or vehicles going by, that kind of thing. It's life. You try to record perfectly and it just never happens. Okay. Question 3. How long has this knowledge about this other planet been kept from the public? We don't take jumpers or droppers or whatever you want to call those that just fell out. Let's see. The No-No song. I don't think we've ever been told, actually, the way it looks. No, we've really never been told. There's a lot of things that we're not told, as you can see by this card. We've got just no smoking things, and we've got stop signs, and we've got things that are bad for us to eat, and things that are bad for us to drink, and so on and so forth. So pretty much they don't tell us anything that might end up being good for us. They keep that to themselves, allegedly. Demolition Man. Yeah, it's good and evil here. It is survival of the fittest, it seems like. Between, and I'm going to say, the government and us, allegedly. It's just all about what they want to keep from us. They have the money, they have the power, they have the inside scoop. We have half-breed, and do not come after me over that. This is a Cher song. It is actually the title of the song. And it is literally as though we live separately from these people. Totally separately. If you think of Demolition Man, it was a futuristic kind of movie, but it had a society of people that were above ground and controlled everything. And then we had a society of people underground that didn't want to live the way the ones up above were living. They knew it wasn't natural, they knew it wasn't normal, and it wasn't free. So we kind of live in two worlds. Those who have everything and those who are controlled by those who have everything. Summer. So obviously, in answer to the question, how long has this knowledge been kept from the public? And I'm going to say it's still being kept from the public. If there is another planet or 2 or 3 or 4, or like the one that they were talking about in question 2 that they want to invade, well, we don't know about it still. However, there is clarity coming for different things. There's clarity coming. Fly like an eagle. Release. And I've never been to me. So fly like an eagle. This is the sign of freedom for America. This is the sign of freedom. However, I think this size of a bird, this kind of a bird, the idea of the bird doesn't have to be just for America, but for the world itself. Just as the fact that an eagle can fly high, can see the big picture, and has absolute clarity and amazing eyesight to see in all the cubbies, in all the corners, nooks and crannies. So we will be seeing and knowing things, but we need to be able to release the emotion that rises up, the anger that is certainly going to come forth. As we see, the heart is red. Red is anger. The heart is emotion. So we're going to have to be able to release that emotion, the anger that will come from the things that we learn, so that we can see clearly. We can make the right moves clearly. And we're going to feel as though we have lived superficial lives. Like everything that we've known, everything that how we've lived is absolutely false. We're going to be totally amazed. Even people who feel they are awakened and know things, even they are going to be shocked to some degree as to how little all of us actually have known. So yes, they've kept this other planet from the public, just as they have many things, but that will be changed. So let's see what Tarot has to add. We have 4 of Cups. Yeah, they pick and choose what it is that they want to share with us, and usually the things that they share are very emotional, that cause rises in us. 6 of Wands. They recognize, and a lot of us are recognizing, the dual nature of how we live. We've it is literally, as it says here, separation. 6 of Pentacles. What we'd like it to be is a even give and take. It is not. It is 2 worlds, 2 totally separate worlds. 4 of Wands. What we call home, the energy of what we call home, is this beautiful sunflower for most of us. This is what we would like our world to be like, bright and sunny and warm, where everybody cares for each other. It's a place that you can proudly call home. That's the energy of it. That is not currently where we are. 3 of Wands. A plan is in motion where things will start being revealed as though we are the eagles. Again, we are going to be seeing things very clearly, but this plan it's not necessarily human in nature. It says spiritual. So we are getting perhaps help from beyond the veil to start showing us or sharing with us exactly how things are. We have the Fool. Yes, we need to release that anger and start over again. Look at it as more, instead of getting so angry over it, look at it as more of a new adventure or a life lesson. Something that is meant to have taught us something that we've learned from, that is valuable, and we can move forward, even though forward might be quite unknown. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like starting a whole new life quest. We're going to be learning who we actually are and what has actually happened in our life all around us and why things have gone the way they've gone, and excuse me, and how we have reacted and how the circumstances of this control has altered us to what we will end up being without that control. So that went off the rails. Totally different than I expected. But yes, they've kept it from the public that there is at least one planet, maybe more than one planet. And as always, it's being kept from us. They only want to tell us about those things that they don't want us to do, scare us into conformity, that kind of thing, allegedly. Okay, so let's get these picked up and move on to question 4. All right. Question 4. How was this other planet discovered? So we kind of want to know if they had some kind of advanced tech that we don't know about, or is this a psychic contact like remote viewing, something like that, ancient knowledge. How did they find out about this planet that they wish to invade? Must be something really good about it, because Michael. I'm going to pull another one. I'm going to say I feel like they have their non-human sources that share information. Now you see me. Yeah, they come when called, basically. They come when they have something to share. They come when they, I don't know, do you want to say summoned? And they disappear at will. So I think it was these beings, and I'm not going to call them angels, they're just beings that do not live on planet Earth, do not live in our frequency. It says, don't look back. Yeah, when they disappear, they return like back to spirit, wherever that is for them. So yeah, they had an inside scoop. These beings, says right on the card, he's an angel, not a saint. So we're going to say that these beings aren't necessarily good. There it is again. Yeah, they found that planet for those in charge here, in power here. And yeah, they apparently brought up the idea of invasion. Forbidden planet. Backdraft. Minority Report. To us, it would be a forbidden planet because, you know, the majority of us don't believe in invading another world. We would be just kind of repeating what we're like on Earth. And if we were going to start over, it would probably be better to start over in a whole new way. And we don't believe in burning up the planet before we ever get there. Nor do we believe in, with Minority Report, there were psychics that could see into the future, and they could see whether somebody was considering creating a crime, and they would report that on their computer system. And even though the person themselves that these psychics saw hadn't hit that point yet, hadn't even thought of anything like that, they would be arrested so that that crime never took place. And, you know, things can change so quickly. So whether or not it actually was ever going to happen, nobody knew. They just arrested them very quickly. So the point being with this is these people are being told how these people are telling those on Earth here who wish to invade now, they're telling them that this is how things are going to happen. This is what they have to do. And, you know, maybe like us, when these people talk, those in power here follow hook, line, and sinker. They're sucked in. Maybe they can't see any clearer than what we can with them. So let's see what Tarot has to share. Queen of Cups. Yes, these beings come across as ever so caring, ever so loving, emotionally stable, and so on and so forth. However, that is not actually who they are. That's how they would appear to us, the normal people. Queen of Pentacles. Here we have a second queen. They're telling us they care about our lives and they care about who we are and what we need. And then it changes. Just that quick. It changes. Nine of Cups. That's the wish card. So this can go two ways. The powers that be that try to control us are wishing that they could go in and invade right now. For those of us who know nothing about this planet, as the others do, we're wishing that we could just turn this planet into a planet of good relationships, of love, and have that be the vibration and the frequency here. Six of Wands. Recognized. We are recognized as the forbidden planet by most beings because we are such a volatile kind of people. It is shoot first, ask questions later kind of thing because our survival is, well, obviously very important to us. The people that we're talking about here that want to invade, the humans that want to invade, more so are they in this way. It is because of them that our planet is a forbidden planet, okay? We recognize that. We recognize what we are like. Page of Pentacles. We'd like to offer something new to a new planet. And that is how, well, we would like them to go in. That's how they might appear before invasion. They might send somebody in, someone young and sweet, and, you know, that makes it look like, oh, living with us would be wonderful. And in fact, they'd end up burning down that new planet, burning it up. Knight of Wands, that's the energy they're willing to get moving with, without us even knowing what's going on. Maybe something in the space program, right? So, Other Planet was discovered by beings that aren't super friendly, but like to appear as though they are to us. And so let's get picked up here and see where else the story is going here. So if you like this content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and also to share with other people that you think might enjoy the content. And most of all, it'd be a lot of fun to have you comment. I am reading these cards, but you might be sitting back there going, no, 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 don't you see? It's this. I would love to hear what you are reading in the cards, if that's what you're doing. If you're not just watching, if you're also, interpreting, I'd love to hear your take, which you can do in the comments. I'm pretty sure other people watching would enjoy that also. All right, so we're at question 5. Is there already a way to travel to this secret planet? So if something happens on this planet, have they already, without our knowledge, have they already built a way to get there? And, whoops, if so, oh, look at that, in Galaxy Quest. I'm going to take that as a yes. You want to take that card? I don't usually take jumpers, but you know what? We're going to. This was just too good. So the answer is yes. There is already a way to travel to this secret planet. And the other part of the question was, and if so, who gets to use it? Use this way to get there. The Last Samurai. Well, obviously, unless we fight for it and know that we're supposed to be fighting for it, we're not going to go. We're not going to get there. They're going to leave us on planet Earth. We'll be the last one standing, supposedly, after they've left. Think of 2012, the movie 2012. If you've seen that, the price of the tickets to get on the ark-like boats. Okay, and then we have I Am Legend. These guys will be gone, okay? This is what the world may end up looking like, because there's nobody left to stop whatever is happening with planet Earth. So this might end up where only a few survive. And it might very well be a war that causes the devastation. These people, powers that be, will escape to this new world that they plan to invade or have already invaded, and leave us behind to deal with things. Now, the good news here is, well, one of two things, I think. We can perhaps change the energy of this planet, the energy of this war, perhaps, that might cause this. We can change that energy. We're not worried about these guys. Let them go off planet, because if they did, it would be better for us. Pretty sure it'd be better for us. So let them go off planet, and let's just start putting healing energy into Mother Earth. Even if something happens, those that are left can replant, regrow, It might take a while, but it is possible. And part of that is to raise the frequency of Mother Earth. And in fact, I think that is going on currently pretty heavily. Mr. Roboto, Legally Blonde, and Wildwood Weed. So I think here it's saying if we stay away from all the technology, which at that point we wouldn't have anyway, right? And we keep it simple. Keep life simple. We don't need all these extra accessories to live well. This is getting back to the land with Wildwood Weed. This is natural healing, herbs, the right food. Nobody's destroying our crops and such, or our individual gardens anymore with pesticides and things coming down from the sky, from the grid patterns that are left up there. There won't be any more of that. It's going to be all starting over. So there is a way for them to get there, to get to that secret planet where they will invade and turn it into what they've turned ours into. But for those who are left here, we can turn it around. So let's see what Tarot has to share. Okay. We have Moon. Yeah, it isn't, for them, it isn't going to be everything they think it's going to be. They're only getting, I think, half-truths from those beings. Only half-truths. Tower. That can be a card to say, yes, with the Last Samurai, Earth will have fallen, for sure. But for those that are surviving, it ends up being an aha moment of, wow, we can pick this up. Four of Swords, yeah, it's a death to most. There will be some that will still be alive to survive on this planet. Five of Pentacles. Rather than feeling as though you have nothing, it's going to be chaotic scrambling for the general needs of life, water and food and clothing and, friendship, things like that. It's going to be a struggle, but the good vibrations will make things go faster. Keeping the higher frequency going will make things go faster and be much more bearable. Empress, yeah, we need to create a life that is full of abundance, and I don't mean money. Abundance is a lot of different things that really doesn't include technology. We have a choice to keep it simple. And the King of Cups, put our love into the land. With Wildwood Weed and King of Cups, put our love into the land. And that is what's going to make all the difference for those of us who are left behind. They're not going to take us with. If they know something's coming, they're not going to take us with. They're going to save their own butts. Allegedly. So let us get these picked up. Move on to question 6. Oop. Oh, my Chihuahua's been pretty quiet so far. I'm shocked. Tried to make sure he had everything he needed before I started doing the reading, but doesn't always make a difference. But I know when he's snoring, he is definitely sleeping well. Okay. So, question 6. Has anyone already made the journey to this other planet. In other words, any human of those privileged enough to go. Minority Report. I think that's saying that they've been through remote viewing or some kind of psychic method. I don't think they've actually been there. And who's to say that they're not being fooled by these beings too, the ones that aren't saints? Maybe they're being given something for that information that they're giving, and they're not even giving full truths because they know that we don't have the capability to get to wherever this planet is. Deja vu. So, with remote viewing, maybe they keep kind of showing the same thing or allowing those in power here to see through remote viewing the same thing. Maybe there's more than one. Here there's 3 psychics. So maybe there's 3 psychics that are giving all the same information, like on Deja Vu, like they've each seen exactly the same thing. Transformation. Yeah, those that are getting this inside information through remote viewing or psychic means, almost like memories, like they've been there. Maybe that's being implanted in some of their brains as well. They think it's going to be something brand new and a whole new start for them. This place, this planet that they believe is able to sustain human life that they would like to invade. There it is again, the last samurai. It may not be at all what they're being told. Wouldn't that be something? Wow. I've never been to me. Ooh. Smiling faces sometimes. And cheaper by the dozen. Okay, so this is a twist and a half here. Has anyone already made the journey? Is what we are asking. And are there travelers who have already left Earth behind? They've only been to this planet through the knowledge that these beings that were depicted by Michael have given so far, and perhaps some remote viewers, very talented remote viewers, or very talented psychics. They might be, well, their information about this planet is very familiar to these people, that the privileged ones. But it's not necessarily the truth. They think it is. They see this wonderful planet that they're going to be able to get to. However, I don't think it's going to be anything like what they thought it was. I think they're getting a lot of superficial knowledge, okay, being told maybe what they want to hear. And of course, it's done with smiling faces. It's a hidden agenda of those beings. Maybe we're a food supply. And the privileged ones are just dumb enough to fall for it. Hate to put it that way, but you know. And we have cheaper by the dozen. This is like eggs. If you take a dozen of these people, that's a cheap meal, so to speak. And that's, wow. Okay, we're going to see what tarot has to share with this. Makes me wonder if that planet that can sustain human life is a planet where those Michael beings are, and where they live, and they just found some suckers and whoo. Okay. Oops. 1, go. All right, so we have 5 of Cups. That's a loss card. A chaotic card, a lot of loss. Yeah, I don't think they're getting the full picture here. What they're getting is good. What is actually there is not. 2 of Pentacles. It's left up to each individual what they want to believe, what's being imprinted in their minds, given in their minds. They have to decide if that's the life they're looking for or not. They're told that not only is it going to transform them, but, you know, they're going to be stronger for it. And it's all illusion. Magician. It's all illusion and trickery. Knight of Swords. The communication, the active communication that they are getting about this, and maybe even outside of this from those beings, they're not true. They're superficial. They're being told they're true. Lovers, choice card. They have the choice to trust these smiling faces or not. I mean, there's something about, look at the eyes under this mask. Would you trust those? You can see one really clearly. Would you trust that? But there is something to the privileged ones that I'm talking about, and you know who I'm talking about here on Earth. Those that try to keep us in control, allegedly. They don't think anything can take them down. So they're not looking at the eyes like we would. And 6 of Swords. Yeah, to those beings, this is like easy pickings. All they had to do is offer a way off, and yeah, they had them right then and there. All right, so let us pick up here and see where question 7 goes. That was a twist I did not expect. Absolutely a twist. So it seems that they would be leaving, these beings would be leaving a lot of us behind. Because, you know, they can't, I don't think they could take us all for some reason, that's what I get. And maybe they have to have the minds of, I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going here. So 7, is this other planet already inhabited? Now, we've been told that they could go in and invade. The privileged ones could go in and invade if that's what they wanted to do, and that's kind of what their plan is. But is it actually already inhabited by people that they could beat? Huh. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. The Blues Brothers. Going to move forward with that. I don't think we're ever going to know whether the planet was inhabited or not. It says they'll never get caught. Which means I'm talking the beings, because Michael sat in this position too. Sister Act. Yeah, they're never going to get caught in their act. The privileged ones have no idea they're being played. No idea. They think these beings are offering them something fantastic because, again, you know, these beings aren't doing it for nothing. We're sure of that. Love train. Oh, wow. Okay, so, yeah. These beings are never going to be suspected or caught by the privileged ones. There's been too many proofs about this other planet, and they've been told that the other planet is inhabited, and it says, is the other planet already inhabited? They've been told this, okay? And they're filling their ears full of, well, we're doing this for, your good. This is your universal solution. Just leave the rest of them behind and you go and take over this other planet and live happily ever after. Driving Miss Daisy. Yeah, all the privileged ones can see is what's in the rear view mirror. They don't care as long as they can leave this Earth planet behind and go and invade another one. They don't have enough excitement. We have Die Hard, Karma, and Airport 77. So what they're not seeing is the devastation that is going to take place when they arrive on that other planet. And it's karma. It's what they have coming for what all that they've done to planet Earth here. It is going to be a crash and burn. They're just going to disappear. It says Flight 23 has crashed in the Bermuda Triangle. They're going to be still alive, but they're going to be totally trapped in whatever reality that is on that other planet that they weren't privy to. Interesting. Wow. And granted, it said here for planet Earth that whatever's, could happen here is going to leave, only some survivors. That's okay. In my opinion, that's okay. I would rather be beyond the veil, passed on, than live like they're going to. So we have Five of Swords. Oh, they are telling lies and lies and lies. Sorry. Four of Cups. Feeding exactly what they know that these privileged ones want to hear. What will boost their emotion the most? Page of Pentacles. A new life. That's what we're promising you. A new life. This is your universal solution. Two of Cups. This is going to give them the chance to, well, they're, like I said, they're looking in the rear view mirror because they want, it's all about me, me, me with this Two of Cups. Where the Two of Cups for one of us would be, we want to get to know ourselves better. These people just want everything for themselves. Four of Swords. Yep, it's another death card. It's not going to be good. Knight of Swords. This is the life that they quested for. It's why karma's coming in. And King of Wands. There is somebody there, a very powerful energy that will keep them in this place. Whew, okay. That was, again, this has taken a twist like so many of the readings. It has taken a twist I never expected. A lot of them I don't expect, but very rarely do we get a glimpse into the privileged on my channel. At least I don't think there's a whole lot of them. Just once in a blue moon it'll come up, but it doesn't last for long, not for this long of a reading. All right, so let's see where question 8 is going to go. Now, my chihuahua is snoring. Kind of a quiet snore, but it's happening. All right, so question 8. If inhabited, are the beings there human or something else entirely? So the planet, my understanding is it's inhabited because that's what's been planted in their minds, okay, in the minds of the privileged, the ones who are going to get to go to that planet. Haven't been there yet, but so it's saying if it's inhabited, are the beings there humans? So we don't know if it's actually inhabited for real. I'm thinking it's probably the beings that are telling them or planting the images in their minds. Red Dawn. Yeah, it's inhabited. And it is inhabited by, like I said, the Michael beings. Remember that position? It's inhabited by them. And they are a warlike species, apparently. Top Gun, and they are good at what they do. They are very good at what they do. "7 years in Tibet." I think that's saying that they've actually studied our planet for a while to really get to know the human race. To know if this is something they can pull off or not. Hunger Games. Guess what they figured out? I don't even think I have to explain that one. They figured it out. They figured out how to control these privileged ones that they take. And maybe they even saw the Hunger Games and saw what happened and figured it was probably safer to go after the privileged ones than it is the rest of us. Birdman of Alcatraz. Yep, they're going to be caged. It's going to be not a pleasant experience with trouble. And Daddy, don't you walk so fast. There is going to be a lot of loss. A lot of loss of self. And I mean, there's nothing that they're going to be able to do or change. All their power, there won't be any more power in this other place. So let's see what Tarot has to add. Page of Pentacles. They're young. This group, this planet, the people are young, like on the card Red Dawn. But I think they're life aged. They've lived a long time, but they stay looking young. Knight of Wands. Yep, this is their way of life. Their active energy is they're good at what they do. Six of Pentacles. They studied us to figure out who has power. Who has all the give? Who has all the take? They studied us. Three of Swords. And they knew exactly who to betray. They took all this knowledge, all this into their mind, and they know exactly who to go after. Judgment. It was assessed, and I think is still being assessed as to what they will do with these beings, or what they will do with the privileged once they get there. All kinds of ideas coming up. Six of Swords. Yeah. I think at first the privileged is going to look at it as, oh wow, we're going to a new place. This is going to be perfect, so perfect, when it is not going to be that way at all. And the Hanged Man, this is maybe something they should take a pause on. Yeah, take a pause. And if you're one of the privileged, take a pause, really hang back. Otherwise, it's all about surrender for you. All right, so we're going on to question 9 very quickly here. Ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of glad at this point in doing this reading that I am where I am. I'm not in the upper echelons of power, per se. I think you get my drift. Okay, so question 9. Are the beings aware their planet has been chosen, and are they welcoming? And it continues and says, do they see us as refugees, invaders, or something else? Now remember, the idea of the people is in the minds of the privileged. They have never actually been to this planet. Carry on, wayward son. Yeah, they're being told that they will have a much better life there, that who they are will be improved by what is happening, where they go. That they're going to be welcomed with, well, not to give up, because maybe they wouldn't be welcomed, but let's go further here. The way that this card shows is the guy is climbing. He's got all his gear on and he's climbing, and he's kind of behind the mountain, not being seen. So I feel as though it's also saying they'll have to sneak in to overcome any struggle. The invasion, remember? Yeah. I think I already did that, but anyway. Maltese Falcon. Yeah, it's going to be explosive for sure. They're going to go in with, or they believe they're going to go in with guns blazing, according to Maltese Falcon. Let's see where else we're going here. I Am Legend. It's going to be a matter of who's left in their minds, okay? Or maybe we should say what they're imagining for us is this. Maybe they're not even imagining there being anybody left on planet Earth. But if there is, that's what their lifestyle is going to be while they're, you know, taking charge of the new planet. And again, we have an airline crash. So it's going to be a crash and burn for them. Convoy. No feeling. Bringing up baby. So this experience, this convoy is all about, well, in this card it says government control. So they are going to be under control. They think they're going in and going to invade, but that is not how it's going to be at all. These beings that they have gotten in leagues with have no feeling at all. No feeling. And with bringing up baby, this is humanity. It's my card for humanity. They are, well, two things. When this happens, we're going to start over here, the ones of us that are still remaining, if in fact something happens to Earth. Something may not. Everything's been karma. So these people might think that that's what's going to happen, which is why they leave to go and invade this other planet, and nothing really happens. Humanity begins again here without them. And where they are raised by these non-feeling beings, controlled by these non-feeling beings. So let's see what Tarot says. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, they think they're going into a perfect life, that it's going to be amazing. Two of Pentacles, it's just a matter of deciding how to invade, what things they want to use to destroy those that they encounter. Ace of Wands. This is the spark of life, the energy of earth. May not be this. It may just be the energy that's putting out to them. Nine of Cups. Yeah, they're going to wish. There's going to be a lot of wishing on their part. A lot of wishing as their plane goes down. And that's just metaphoric. The Devil with the no feeling card. We're just going to leave that one alone. They're being controlled by people with no feeling. And actually these two cards should have been turned around, but they're being controlled by people. Yeah, they can't keep their power. They no longer have their power. Somebody else does. And no feeling, these people with no feeling, yeah, it's for the privileged, it's an aha moment for them, because now they know what it feels like, what we went through. Eight of Wands. Yeah, they're going to keep them captive. They're going to make sure that they are very victimized, and they're going to do it fast. Very, very fast. That's the energy they're going to project probably into their minds. So quickly. Everything is going to happen so fast for them. And for us, this is a moving forward energy for humanity. It's brand new for us. That's where that energy is going to be for us here on Earth. I don't think anything is actually going to happen. I think this is all in the minds of the privileged. It's what the beings who are playing the Hunger Games in a different sort of way. They would know about, all of our important shows. Ones that made an impact on all of us. Hunger Games is one of them. And we have one last question here. Question 10. Is the Earth-like planet healthy? And are the inhabitants respectful of it? And the question was added, harmonious or like us? Ooh. We haven't really heard how they treat their world. We are looking at it as, I think we're food for them, or at least the privileged will be. How do they treat their planet? Stargate. I think they go to a lot of planets to do the same thing that they have planned for this one. Elvis. Yeah, they make themselves king of, well, their own planet per se. I don't think they actually invade or take over the other planets. I don't think they do that. I think they have the following, like the privileged, They know exactly how to do it and how to get those people to follow them. Material world. Yeah, I don't think that this is the past position for most readings. I don't think that is an issue anymore. They aren't material in nature. They don't go with money. They don't use money. For the love of money, however, that is what they've used with our privileged. For the love of money, this is greed, materialism. This is how they get them to follow. I can see clearly now. 9 to 5. Taking care of business. They're going to find out very shortly after they arrive at this other planet that they can see clearly now. It is not at all the vision, the rainbow vision that they were given. They're going to be used for food, for work, for a lot of things. Probably much worse. Well, no, not much worse. They'll be tested on. They'll be, and for this group of beings, for this world of beings, this is just business for them. It's how they work and play. So it's still not saying, I don't think they do anything bad to their planet. I'm not seeing anything here. Makes me wonder if there is a planet, or if that's all in the mind too. All right, so we've got Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, they change where they go a lot. So they need a lot of food and a lot of help, apparently. Devil, they know exactly how to take the power. 10 of Wands, energy is no longer material. They don't need material things, except for people, apparently. 6 of Pentacles. Oh, we will give you this, and you will give us that. It will be a fair and equal, harmonious exchange when you get there. Once you've invaded and you take over, yeah. King of Pentacles. They're going to find out that they no longer have, they can see now that they really had it made here. They really did. They had everything structured the way that they wanted to, and everything was stable for them. The game was being played very hard, and that wasn't enough. But now they can see clearly where they decided to go is not good. 2 of Wands. They've gone through a completely different gate. Life is, the energy is totally different than what they left. Fool. Yeah, these beings, they have absolutely nothing to worry about. Everyone is a new adventure, and it's their work, their play. They enjoy it. They enjoy going to different places and playing this game. And I think with like the Hunger Games, they got some new ideas. I really think they did. They got new ideas. So they're not saying if this planet is healthy or if the inhabitants are respectful of it. Part of me, it doesn't have any cards here that say this necessarily, but almost through the rest of the reading, I'm wondering, since everything is remote viewing and, deja vu and stuff like that, it makes me wonder if a planet even exists or if this is in their mind. Yeah, I'm going to pull one more card here just to see if we can get a direct answer to whether or not these beings are Well, let's ask if they have a planet. And then we'll close this reading. If there is actually a planet, or if it's in the mind of the privileged. Not even real. And I'm just going to pull I think I'll pull from here. So, the card, the Invisible Man, fell out in picking that up. I don't think there is a planet. Let's try this again. So, here is there actually a planet, or is it all in the mind? My husband just got home, so my Chihuahua is really happy. Frequency. I'm going to say it's in the mind. It's all in the mind. They're being shown a totally different dimension. So maybe it is there, but it's a different dimension. All right, so that is it for this episode, number 14 of Twilight Zone Inspired Series. Here is the teaser for next time. Next time, we're not just asking what's around you. We're asking what's real at all. What if the sky, the sand, the mountains were part of a lie? What if the truth was buried beneath your own 2 feet this entire time? Episode 15 asks a question you might wish you never heard. Are we living inside a constructed reality? And on the screen also is the show schedule. Shows you the 3 shows that I do each week and the times that they're on. So maybe if you've enjoyed the Twilight Zone, you might enjoy the other 2 as well. And with all that said, that's it for this time. Thank you so much for being a part of this video, this show. I can't wait to see you next week. Take care.